Now at 7:30, as the sun comes up on this sad day of remembrance, an anniversary of January 6th, 1 year later, the Capitol Police are saying that threats to lawmakers are at an all-time high, and the surge has forced the department to remake itself so it can better track down those behind the threats. Our Kris Van Cleave got exclusive access to the department's efforts and learned how lawmakers are being intimidated 365 days later. Kris, good morning to you.
Good morning, Tony. We got to warn you, some of the language in this report is graphic. We had no problem finding lawmakers who are receiving disturbing threats, but we really struggled to find one who would talk to us on camera. They feared prompting more threats and normalizing what is otherwise vile behavior. But what you're about to hear is anything but normal.
I hope your family dies in front of you. I pray to God, if you've got any children, they die in your face.
Do you get calls like that a lot?
I do. We get several of those a week.
Congresswoman Debbie Dingell says threats like this ramped up after former President Trump attacked her and her late husband John at a campaign rally in December 2019.
Debbie Dingell, that's a real beauty.
And he made very public comments about John looking up from hell. And I was just stunned by it.
It's not only verbal abuse. In November, her Dearborn, Michigan office was vandalized.
I had men in front of my house with assault weapons after Tucker Carlson had done a rant on me.
What is the impact on Debbie the person, not the congresswoman?
I'm trying not to let it get to me, but it doesn't mean that some nights when you're home and alone and you don't have the husband you love anymore, you don't get scared.
Do you worry that by talking to us, you're going to get more threats?
Probably.
I don't think most people understand the amount of vitriol, the challenging communications a member of Congress and their staff would get at any given time.
For over 20 years, PhD psychologist Mario Scalora has worked with the Capitol Police analyzing threats made against lawmakers.
We're seeing more people out there putting out more threatening rhetoric. We're seeing more people out there justifying violence in their rhetoric. This is the most concern I've ever had in 20 years.
Roughly 9,600 threats were referred to the department last year alone, about 1,000 more than they saw in 2020.
You will never control us!
CBS News obtained more than a dozen voicemails targeting both sides. California Democrat Adam Schiff.
Shifty Schiff, I will put a bullet in your forehead.
Michigan Republican Fred Upton.
You're a piece of traitor. I hope you die. I hope everybody in your family dies.
Scalora says the rise in threats is a direct reflection of our current political discourse. Do you feel like you can keep up?
We're being stretched. Let's be blunt. We're being stretched. We're keeping up, but this is not an ideal situation.
In New York, this man pleaded not guilty to making a terroristic threat after he allegedly left a dead rat with a noose around its neck on the doorstep of Republican Tom Reed. The brother of Democrat Hakeem Jeffries was threatened by a California man claiming to be armed and nearby. We played this threatening voicemail for Scalora.
Hey, Cynthia, dumbass.
It was left for Wyoming Senator Cynthia Lummis after she voted against impeaching former President Trump.
You committed treason. You committed sedition. And I will kill you. I will kill you.
Where's the red flag?
Someone is making a direct threat to life, and they're expressing that they want to carry it out and that they're willing to carry it out. That is going to get our serious and due attention.
The sender, a 52-year-old Laramie man, is now serving 18 months in prison. Where does behavior move from protected speech to a criminal threat?
A threat to life is not protected speech, plain and simple.
Last year, the Capitol Police flagged about 460 such threats.
We're keeping up, but it's a challenge.
And Chief Tom Manger is tasked with remaking the Capitol Police. Are lawmakers and the Capitol, are they more at risk today than they were a year ago?
I don't know if it's more, but it's at a level where it's higher than it should be.
Threats also rise when members of Congress take rhetorical aim at colleagues. After Colorado Republican Lauren Boebert likened Democrat Ilhan Omar to a suicide bomber, both received threats. Omar playing this one publicly.
Traitor, you will not live much longer, but I can almost guarantee you that.
These are the kinds of threats that we get on a daily basis.
Please search warrant.
The Capitol Police gave us exclusive access to the training its officers now get as the department looks to directly investigate more of these threats and rely less on other agencies. How concerned are you that somebody's going to get hurt?
Very concerned. I'm concerned about everybody's safety here and understand that at a moment's notice, something could happen that we are not anticipating.
His intelligence unit has doubled the number of analysts available to monitor the threat landscape, especially online. And the agency is looking to add 280 new officers this year. If
we want to really get to a point where we want to be, where we should be, it's going to take more time to get more people in place.
Dingell believes to change course, voters need to hold politicians accountable for their tone at the polls.
We all need to think about what we're saying to each other, what we're doing to each other. You know who I really worry about is the kids, the young people in our office who believe in public service, who believe in our democracy, who are frequently the ones that hear those messages first.
The Capitol Police is opening field offices to investigate these threats more efficiently. The first two are in Florida and California, the states where they say the most threats originate. Tony?
Kris, it's a powerful piece. It's also a reminder that the majority of the people who stormed this building a year ago today were not known members of extremist groups or militia groups. They were everyday Americans. It speaks to the mainstreaming of these threats.
Yeah, the threats, the one commonality is these are people that have a grievance they just can't let go of.
All right, Kris, thank you very much. Gayle, as I throw it back to you, I can't help but think, can you imagine calling somebody up, knowing you're being recorded, and leaving a voicemail like the ones we just heard?
I really can't, Tony. I'm still stunned by it. It was absolutely chilling. It's still, I can't get over the fact that these are still Americans against Americans. I still have a hard time wrapping my brain around that. And those videos, that imagery still just makes me ill today. Thank you so much.